Okay, so today's demo is how to create cross-hatching on your pumpkin. There's a completed example on Canvas. Just as a reminder, you open up your ink, put your open ink on a paper towel, have a damp paper towel handy, grab your pen, and start to identify the different areas of value. So, I see that the top line here are all step 1. So I have a step 1 here. It's funny because almost like where my outline is here is a step 1. And to create the illusion of 3 dimensions, I am going to get gradually darker as I go down. Okay. I'm going to follow the cross contour lines. How do I know the cross contour lines? Vertically, they're curved to be parallel with the sides of the rib. Horizontally, they're curved this way. Almost parallel with the bottom of the rib, but curved so it's going around the form. You might want to make a total stripy pumpkin right in the beginning. But if you do that, make sure that you have, that you know that these aren't lines to be outlined, that they're just cross contour lines. Okay. You can have your value scale out if that helps you. And I always want to see what side of the rib is the dark side and what side is the light side. And make sure the ribs don't compete with each other. That's going to be the important part. So here, the top of this rib is going to be step 1. Just a reminder, if at any time you have an issue with your pen, you can change that out. You can change that nib out, the new one. Also, if your bottle is running out of ink, you can leave it on my desk and grab a new bottle of ink. The base of my stem, believe it or not, looks lighter than the top of the rib of my pumpkin. So that's why I decided to shade my the top of my rib, just right here, kind of dark. Remembering to follow my cross contour lines. And as I go around this rib, I'm going to get lighter. You can think of these as like a bunch of cylinders that are up against each other in a slightly different shape. One thing with ink, you got to remember not to check it out right away. I really want to like just erase my pencil to see how this is looking, but if I do that, I'm going to run into an issue because my ink is going to run, so I don't want that to happen. The ribs up back, people tend to get confused because they are going backwards. I see a step 1 back here, but I got to remember when I erase my pumpkin, I'm not going to see that, so I created a little bit of a broken line back there. And this is the directional line. Directional lines back here are really important because you don't want to compete with your stem. I'm not going to be concerned if every line isn't perfect. It's not going to be. And that's okay. And the neat thing is, these are organic forms, so it kind of gives you an excuse for every line to not be perfect. It should look organic. Please don't, if you're choosing line design, please don't cover your pumpkin in burlap. Let me show you an example. I'm going to show an example of what not to do on my blind continuous line drawing. Not to do big smiley face, or big sad face rather. Don't want to outline. Please, no outlining. Okay. Please do not. Although the cross contour lines are correct, please do not do this. Again, cross contour lines are correct, but please do not do this. Okay? See if you can be very light with your pen and just get in the practice of loading it in ink on a continual basis. Otherwise, you will get quite a bit of bleeding. Bleeding is when, not when you stab yourself with the pen, but when there's so much ink on the paper that it is absorbed in the paper and kind of spreads. Also, what not to do is make sure you don't have the same value on two ribs next to each other. Because you're using directional lines, sometimes you can show a difference between one rib and another. You can add some more. You can always make one area darker, but please don't leave it with two competing values. Not more like this. And then in a section at a time, erase some of your pencil. Okay? You'll see how you do. Some of us are in a situation where it's a lot lighter on one area, so make it lighter. My pumpkin right here, I've got a step 1 right here, and a step 1 here. So, and this rib gets confusing because on this side, my lines are curved this way. On this side, they're curved this way because I have to look at this here. Okay. Let me write this. Okay. And so for a completed crosshatch pumpkin, check out Canvas, and there's images right there where I post the videos. And it's good to see because those are in a different, someone else did them. So it's good to see a different kind of technique. And again, as always, we're going to do, if this pumpkin were done, a line design. A line, parallel lines to the top and the bottom of my page for my cast shadow. Which we'll be talking about on your next non-lab day, is exactly how to handle that, right? Okay.